You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Lex Juarez in for Mark Hall. It's a chilly and snowy DMV first warn day. We've got team coverage this afternoon. DC News Now's Randy Bass is out on the road. But first, let's head over to meteorologist Damon Matson, who's got the latest check on the forecast. And Damon, it's cold, but also we're going to see a lot more of that snow today.
That's right, Lex. Yeah, this is one of the snowiest days that the DC Metro has seen in nearly 2 years. That's how long it's been since we've had that snow coming down like it is currently. Waking up this morning, we had a dusting out there, some of the roadways, the rooftops, and on your cars, of course. And as we move forward for the rest of the day, there is more snow that is likely as we head into especially your Monday evening and Monday night. That being the case, winter weather advisories cover the entire DMV all the way into Tuesday morning for that threat of accumulating snow here over the next 12 to 18 hours. And out across the mountains, we do have winter storm warnings here in the pink, where there are expected to be some higher accumulations of that snowfall. And there you go. This winter weather advisory, though, in the purple does include the DC Metro and the I-95 corridor. And throughout the morning here, we've had just some light flurries, light snow showers on and off. But over the last half hour, well, we've started to see a little bit of a steadier snow come down inside of the Beltway back across northern Virginia, where you see some of that darker blue. And we will see this continue on and off as we move forward here through the rest of the day, as the main part of this storm system, it's still down to the south, and it will continue to drift toward us as we move on through the afternoon and evening. So folks, if you don't have to be out and about and don't want to deal with the snowfall, yes, it's a good day to stay inside. But if you do have to go out over the next few hours, expect to see more of those snow showers, and over time, this will start to accumulate, and in some locations, even on the roadways. So please take it cautious out there if you possibly can. We'll have more on just how long this snowfall will last, and more on the cold temperatures that are on the way for the middle of this week. That's all coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you so much. Well, we're going to head out to DC News Now's Randy Bass now, who is in Montgomery County, Maryland this afternoon. Randy, you're on I-270. What are the roads looking like?
Yeah, Lex, good afternoon to you. Not too bad out here right now along those main roads and major highways like I-270 and the Beltway. Seeing a lot of those trucks already staged on the side of the road as more snow is expected to fall this afternoon. Check it out. This is what we're seeing right now on I-270. Visibility right now looking pretty good. That snow is coming down, but in this area of Gaithersburg right now near Rio and downtown Crown, you are just seeing very light snowfall at this point. That's not to say we're not seeing some slick spots, especially along those side and neighborhood roads that may not have seen salt go down overnight. Remember, roads, ramps, and bridges, those are what is going to freeze first. And you heard Damon just a minute ago, those temperatures are going to stay close to freezing. If it looks wet, you should treat it like ice. Again, we did see some of those snowy patches that have started to turn slick now as we've got several hours into this system. Again, just be very careful if you do have to head out on the roads today, and try and stick to some of those main major highways. Lex, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Randy. For that, stay safe out there. The National Zoo will be closed today due to the icy conditions. Officials did post about the closure on Twitter, and right now it is unclear how long the zoo will stay closed, as we know those temperatures will remain low for the next few days. Well, if you do have to go out today, you'll want to bundle up for sure. Temperatures are below freezing in most of the area, and they are expected to stay there. DC News Now's Candace Cole has more on what the district is doing to keep residents safe.
DC Mayor Muriel Bowser has issued a cold weather emergency here in the district to try to keep residents as safe as possible, as temperatures are expected to reach dangerous lows all throughout the week. The district's cold weather emergency will be activated until Thursday to protect residents from life-threatening illness and injury, according to the mayor's office. DC's snow team will be out treating the roads to keep drivers safe on slick and icy roads. Some roads were pre-treated Sunday for brief flurries. Mayor Bowser says outreach efforts started last Friday to those residents who are vulnerable to the severe cold. Residents are advised to stay inside and avoid the cold if you can. Cover up any exposed skin if you do go outside. Bring your pets inside and check on your neighbors, especially those who may be elderly or need some extra help. The district is also providing a number of cold weather shelters for people who may not have anywhere else to go. I caught up with one D.C. resident who didn't let the snow interfere with his morning routine.
Yeah, I like running. I run every day. So yeah, just came out, enjoying the weather. It's a little bit slick. Should have maybe stayed at home, but it's good to get some fresh air. Yeah.
Now, if you know someone who may need to get to one of those cold weather shelters, you can dial up the shelter hotline. That number is 202-399-7093, and they will provide free transportation. You can also go to snow.dc.gov for more information on shelters and other winter preparedness tips. In Northwest D.C., Candace Cole, D.C. News Now.
All right, and you can stay up to date on all winter weather and how it could impact you on our DC News Now weather app. Make sure you scan this QR code on your screen there to download the app onto your device. Well, developing now, police are investigating after a car crashed into a Whole Foods in Bethesda. Employees say a woman drove her SUV right through the front doors, crashing into produce stands. Police say the woman inside suffered minor injuries. Stick around and we'll have a reaction from Whole Foods shoppers at 12:30 only on DC News Now. And crossing into Northern Virginia, a 17-year-old is dead after allegedly being stabbed by a 14-year-old in Fairfax County. Police say it happened around 11:30 last night on Wadsworth Court. That's in Annandale. That's where police found the 17-year-old who was suffering from stab wounds. He was taken to the hospital where he later died from those injuries. The 14-year-old suspect was found inside a nearby apartment. He was also taken to a local hospital. And later, an 18-year-old walked into that very hospital and was treated for injuries that police think are related to the stabbing. They say they do not believe this was a random incident. And families in Prince William County are fighting the decision to approve 37 data centers in the county. A DC News Now investigation in 2023 found that data center tax revenue in neighboring counties total hundreds of millions of dollars per year. The lawsuits filed Saturday allege that the county's board's vote violates the state code. That vote last month approved the data center project, and they say it goes beyond the scope of the board's power.
All the different commissions and the staff, the planning office said, don't approve this. We love to go outside. We love to look at animals. We love, the peace and quiet. Now, will we be restricted so we don't even go outside because of noise or breathing diesel emissions?
Well, attorneys say that they expect this court battle to last about half a year. Well, today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but the holiday is not just about remembering Dr. King. Our Charisse Gomez of Living Local DMV got to catch up with his youngest daughter, Dr. Bernice King, and talk about her father's legacy.
We are back with global thought leader, peace advocate, and CEO of the King Center, Dr. Bernice A. King. Dr. King, first and foremost, I want to ask you, what does a day on and not a day off mean? I know I grew up hearing that constantly throughout my childhood and into my adulthood, but many people may not understand what that means.
Initially, when it was attached to the holiday, it was connected to my mother's efforts again to give some kind of uniformity to the holiday so that whatever state you were in, there was something similar that would occur. And so they started looking at how do we make this a national day of service? Mm-hmm. I think it was under President Clinton where that happened. So it means that on that particular day, we're not just going to be what we do with holidays. We take a day off and, do whatever we want to do. We go shopping or whatever. What she didn't want to happen is that it would lose its meaning and people would not be doing something in the spirit and in true honor of Dr. King. And so it's a day where people give, their time or their talent, resources to various service projects around the nation. And I pushed us a few years ago in my message to our audience here in Atlanta through our commemorative service that we're beyond a day on. It's now really a life on. Because Dr. King lived a certain way. I mean, his his whole life was about serving humanity. And I think we can do the things that we do in life as our professional calling, but we can also have a heart towards serving humanity and always having an eye out and an ear out. Eye out for seeing and an ear out for listening to things that might not quite be right in our world, and ensure that we are a person, who's participating and taking personal responsibility to intercede in some matters. You have to be very wise with some situations, but we connect with organizations that are doing the work to correct some of the injustices and inequities in our society. So I'd like to say a life on.
A life on.
Yeah, so each year when you're thinking about it, it's like every year, how at the beginning of the year we try to do something to improve ourselves.
Right.
Look at the King holiday as a measuring point. How am I doing in terms of helping to move forward the work of justice, equity, and freedom that Dr. King and them were doing in the 50s and 60s?